Good evening and welcome to another peripheral version of Diatribes from the Voice of Doom. Now here's your perfunctory and perplexed host, Voice of Doom. We interrupt this program to bring you a special news bulletin. Our regular programming will be disrupted. So I was going to continue with my expostulation on doomology, the probable, possible, and unthinkable. But something came up in the news, and I should probably comment on it before it goes away. And I will say, as a preamble or introduction or parenthetically, I'm sorry about the quality of the sound of my diatribe in the last two, and I actually tested a bit instead of just starting and finishing, because I like a gestalt version of diatribes. It's spontaneous, I do it, and then that's it. I don't think very hard, I don't plan very hard. Once in a great while I'll plan, and those are the interesting ones sometimes, but mostly I just speak off the cuff, because it's just a diary. Only Nick and a few other people are watching, so I don't have to be brilliant all the time. But I will say that I've been noticing that my life is very much like the stock market, the Dow Jones Industrial, because I notice I've been waiting patiently for it to crash. And when I say crash, I mean like down to 500 points. But it just goes up 800 and then down 900 and up 600 and down 500 and back and forth, and it's always on news of the day. Stocks up 500 points due to unemployment report. Stocks down 600 points due to a bank failure. Stocks up 800 points because a bank didn't fail today. I mean, it's just always news to news, as if every day is different and that yesterday's news has nothing to do with anything. But that's how my life has been going. I will win enough money to pay a lot of bills, and then I will lose. So I'm up and down, just like the Dow. And it's annoying. It's no way to live your life. I'm just not happy with what I have. I have to get more, and if I don't get more, then I'm down below what I was. So it's a vicious cycle. I don't recommend gambling as a hobby to any person, because it's expensive and it's frustrating. But I am noticing I do have certain biorhythms, and when I win for a while, and then when I lose for a while. So if I can just tap into that, you see how I'm thinking? You see how self-destructive I am, as I'm telling everyone not to be a gamer, not to gamble. I am sitting here thinking, how can I control my mind and my behavior in order to win? So that's my problem, and I'll work on that. But the news of the day that will interrupt my previous project is there was a shooting, and it was at a Christian school. And the shooter was, according to the mainstream media, a female, a woman. They finally figured out what a woman is. A woman is someone who goes on a mass shooting and claims to be transgendered or is transgendered, but is actually female. So there's your description of what is a woman. A woman to the mainstream media, because it's very interesting, and everybody's commented on this already, how the mainstream is just kind of downplaying the whole transgender thing and the whole non-binary or what have you, or identifying as the opposite sex. Now, I will tell you a few things about hormones. They change your behavior, they change your thoughts, they change your feelings. I'll tell you that firsthand, because if you go back into my diatribes in the transgender playlist, you will see the history I have with it. So I know more than almost everybody. And you will see that I'm still somewhat of the male persuasion, because I tried thinking that would make me happier, and I was on cross-sex hormones for about 6 to 8, 9 months. And since I was taking the opposite, I was not taking testosterone. I was taking other things. And it took away all my feelings. I didn't feel anything. I didn't feel anger. I didn't feel excitement. I didn't feel any kind of emotion. Life was very peaceful and boring. And I said, I'm not going to do it. Because the other thing was, what's the end game? To put across the image of the opposite sex for what? To get a boyfriend? Nah. So I did a lot of thinking and said, I'm going to be happy the way I am, and I might be a little quirky, and I might dress funny sometimes. I might even put on makeup. But I'm not going to do physical things, because it just wreaks havoc on your brain. Now, let's go the opposite direction. I was born a female, but I identify as male, so I will take testosterone. Now, male hormones, especially administered in a way in which they're probably not supposed to be, basically, will make you more aggressive. Probably make you get acne, probably make you more temperamental, probably make you more angry. So this transgendered person, and the only place on the media that I saw them actually even be consistent saying, you want us to do this, we'll do it. And that was The Hill. And they referred to the shooter as they. And I thought that was kind of good, because it's like, you want us to do this, we're going to do it, but don't go back and forth. Mainstream media. It was a woman. And mass shootings by women is very rare, so don't try to associate any of this violence with transgender therapy or transgender treatment. You know, it's very obvious. So, more aggressive, had access to guns. Of course, according to KJP, Karine Jean-Pierre, gun violence is happening all the time. These guns are getting up and going around shooting people all by themselves. Everyone's getting sick of, how things are worded. Everybody's on the so-called internet and they're saying their 2 cents, but they're realizing, hey, this language business is going to be the death of us all. Gun violence. It's violence by people who hold guns. And there's bullets in them, and they pull the trigger. Now, it's just conjecture, but I'm probably pretty true in thinking that this woman went to that school when she was a kid. She was probably a tomboy. She probably was acting mannish and liked sports and this and that, and then she was seeing on the internet, which has been rampant with transgenderism for at least 20 years, 30 years, so I don't even think it's new. Sees all these people and says, I'm going to do that. And perhaps this school might have not have been as open-minded as other places might have been, and maybe she was ridiculed. Maybe she was told you can't do that. Maybe she was told it's against God's will. It built up a resentment in her head. She becomes an adult and goes and shoots up the place. Now, come on. This is all a psychosis. And the hormones probably don't help. And the confusion doesn't help because you realize you take the hormones and you're not happier. You don't feel better. You want to be a masculine woman, be a masculine woman. You want to be a feminine man, go for it. But you don't have to start changing things drastically because a lot of people end up regretting it. And this person regrets it because she's no longer on this mortal coil, is she? And that's another thing that I'm tired about with these mass shootings is these speeches. There's always speeches at a podium outside of where the shooting was. You got to hear about the chief of police and then the mayor, and then you got the person in charge of the tactical whatever, and then the FBI, and there's always got to be introductions. And they say the same diatribe, stupid ass platitudes. Our hearts go out to the families, and we're hearts. One Nashville guy says, our thoughts and prayers are with you. Now I hear that all the time on Fox and elsewhere, on every news channel, thoughts and prayers. You would think these news people were on their knees every day praying. But I'm not going to say, but I doubt that they pray every day. Thoughts and prayers. And then Nashville cop says, some people may not like that I say thoughts and prayers, but here in the South we still pray. So it's always got to go on, little barbs, a little stick it to somebody. But the ones that are getting stuck are the wokesters. Because everything is coming back to bite them on the ass badly not because the person who shot the kids and the teachers was transgendered, but because this media all of a sudden turned turtle and say it was a woman, it was a female, it was a she. We're not going to go into this they, them business. We're not going to say it was a male or a man when that person is identifying as male. So I don't want to explain it to you. If you can't figure it out, then you got to think a little bit more, because you can see that when push comes to shove, they got to just go back to the old ways of women being she's and men being he's. And regardless of their characteristics, you can just see that they have to resort back to sanity. They can play little games with their pronouns all they want when it's all on TikTok, which, I wish the so-called government would not waste their time trying to get rid of TikTok. The damage is done. So forget that. Just work on getting this regime that we have running the country in jail, and that will be a good enough quest. So I just wanted to throw my 2 cents in about that. And I'm sure I have more to say about it, but I can't think of it right now. But I will continue with my saga about the nature and science of doomology in my next diatribe. But I think this was a pretty good one. So I hope you enjoyed it, and have a good night.